Good morning, Elton. Good morning, Maryland, wherever else you might be watching this video. This is attorney Joe Bowers, your Elton accident and injury guy. And as I promised last week, we are offering you the free insurance policy, the Maryland insurance policy self-review. Okay. Now, many of you might know this. Some of you might be finding out for the first time. I have been offering for more than 10 years to take a look absolutely free of charge at anybody's Maryland auto insurance policy. Take a look at it, find deficiencies. We're going to talk about some of those and how to identify them yourself here today, and give you some free guidance. Free, absolutely free. And because I don't sell insurance, I'm not licensed to sell insurance. Maybe that'd be a good retirement job for me, but I'm not doing it today. Give you some guidance on what you can do to improve your insurance policy, because as I've mentioned in the past, you don't want to find out about something wrong with your auto insurance policy when you're sitting in my office looking for help with an accident. Many podcast episodes and articles that I've written on my website, as well as for other publications. I talk extensively about how things you can do with your auto policy to get a bigger settlement check. And it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's really, at the end of the day, getting a big settlement check is what matters. So we're going to get into the self-check in a moment here. For anybody who doesn't want to email me your policy for whatever reason, who am I to judge? I'm just a lawyer, not a judge. But first, I want to promote an upcoming community event that is this Saturday. It is the Brutality Night Fights. That is July 13th. That is at Fifth Company Brewing. Ticketing for this one, they tell me, is very limited because the event is happening indoors. So they have limited seating. They had a whole lot of seating and sold, and I think they had like 400 people at the last one that was outdoors. They're going to have substantially less on this one because of, walls. You can only fit so many people inside of a wall. I am the guest MC for this event, so come see me. Come see some people wearing real armor, beating the crap out of each other. They're going to be in a cage, so don't worry. You're going to be safe. And my pal Bernardo Rodriguez is going to be doing a mind reading show during the intermission. So super fun time. Come out to Fifth Company Brewing if you are interested in that. It is a fundraiser event. Also for Live Like Jen, we promoted an event a couple weeks ago for her. This is another one. So check that out. It should be a great time. And of course, I'll be there. So So let's get into this insurance self-check. I went through in previous episodes some of the important stuff, but I want to give you the real things that I see, which are major deficiencies in a policy, things to look for. And I'm going to do this by showing actual declarations pages from auto insurance policies here in Maryland. So here is one that is not bad. It doesn't have a lot of the issues, but it allows me to illustrate some of the things that are super important. So when I talk through this, I want to talk about it line by line in the little chunks here. And I don't think I can really point to where this is, but the first chunk that has auto liability insurance, bodily injury, property damage, the $100,000, $300,000 coverage is okay. I would definitely, if I had this policy, or if you came into my policy in my office or sent me an email with a policy that looked like this, I would tell you for that top little chunk to ask your insurance agent to give you a price on bumping those numbers up. Instead of the 100,000, 300,000, look at 250,000, 500,000. You're probably looking at a very, very nominal increase in premium, very little, to bump that up and more than double that coverage. Next little chunk there is personal injury protection. I'm showing this one. I believe this is either an Encompass or an Allstate policy. Not that it matters. But each of these will look slightly different, as you're going to see on the next one, because the next one I'm going to show you is a Geico policy. This is somebody who has personal injury protection coverage. Personal injury protection coverage, as we've talked about in other episodes and throughout my website, is no fault coverage. I think I talked extensively last week about the actual, I think I showed the exact statute in last week's episode where they cannot raise your rates, take away discounts, drop you, or anything negative for making a claim solely under personal injury protection coverage. I always advise my clients, if they are dealing with a company that will sell them more than just the $2,500, to do so. The math is automatic. You cannot, if you ever get in an accident for the rest of your life and you have the increased PIP coverage, you are not looking at paying more in premiums over the course of time than you will get in benefits. In fact, I had a client recently who wrote me back. They're insured with Erie Insurance. They had $2,500 or $2,500 in personal injury protection coverage, like this policy right here. The quote that they received to take that from $2,500 to $10,000 per person per accident was a mere $3 a month. $3 a month to get an extra $7,500 in coverage. If you do nothing else, call your agent and find out what it will cost you, how little it will cost you to increase that PIP coverage. That is money in your pocket, almost directly in your pocket if you get in an accident. Next thing I look for and advise people for is the third chunk here, uninsured motorist insurance. If the numbers displayed here are less than the numbers up here for the property damage or bodily injury, it is a problem. Fix it. You should not have less uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. This is the one that only protects you if there's an uninsured or underinsured driver. This is the insurance that potentially pays you, not someone else, if you were in an accident. And they charge you, they give you a very, very little discount to sign that down, which is what it's called. The other thing that's on here is the collision insurance. This collision insurance on this policy has a $500 deductible. If the insured were to raise that up to, and the comprehensive has a $0 deductible. If they were to raise those deductibles up, this person would save a lot of money on their premiums. And that right there, raising deductibles is the only way to protect yourself, to truly protect yourself and save money on a policy. Do not cut the policy limits. It's not a good idea. I'm going to show you one that not only has the Maryland minimum limits, but this is a Geico policy. And every time I see this, it makes me cringe because it's super deceptive. And I have tried to push through the legislature things to fix this. What I'm going to show you is a Geico declaration page. This one here actually has the premium amounts, and I'll tell you why in a moment. First of all, this is a minimum limits policy in Maryland. So you can see the bodily injury liability is only $30,000 a person. The uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage, which is down there, is also only $30,000 per person, $60,000 per accident. And I don't like that. But the thing that I brought this up for is to show you the line that says personal injury protection. This is a Geico policy. The person is paying to waive PIP. This is why it's deceptive. Number one, they call it option A. And in grade school, we're taught that A's are a good thing, not in insurance world. This is a waiver of personal injury protection coverage. And the weird thing that makes it even more deceptive, and is like a 20-minute conversation every time I have a client with one of these, is the fact that they're charging you a premium to waive a coverage. I'm going to stand here and stare at the camera for a few seconds because you're probably staring at me. It seems ludicrous that they would charge you money for nothing. But here's the thing. If I am a passenger in this person's vehicle, they have waived personal injury protection for themselves and every member of their household that is 16 years of age or older, driving age. But they can't waive PIP for their passengers. So the reason that that premium exists, the reason, and they're only paying $15 every 6 months to waive this coverage, but for $25, they can have the coverage. They can't waive. There is a chance that Geico, if I'm a passenger in this vehicle, ends up having to pay me personal injury protection. Still no fault. Still will not raise the rates of the person who's waived the coverage if I am making a claim against it. But the fact that Geico or whatever other company is selling it might have to pay out a claim there is why they charge you a premium. Again, wildly deceptive. Option A is a waiver for you and for your family. Anybody in that household that's related to you. So be super careful. And again, I charge $0 to take a look at your auto policy. All you got to do, shoot me an email at the address right up there. Right there. info@bowerslawmd.com. Shoot me an email, say, hey, take a look at my insurance policy. Send me your declaration page, which should look something like this or like this. There is no sales pitch because I don't sell insurance. I'm going to say, yep, sure. And I'm going to send you my auto insurance report card. It's going to break down all of the things that I think about your policy. I'm going to give you a list, a punch list to take to your insurance agent. Again, I'm not selling you insurance. If for whatever reason you are looking to change insurance companies, I could definitely recommend good ones and we'll do so, but only upon your request. I'm not out here soliciting insurance sales for agents, but I will give you recommendations of great agents in the area if and only if you want them. If you have a great relationship with your insurance company and your agent, all I'm going to do is give you the tips so that you could turn around and say, hey, can you give me prices to fix these things? They will quote you the prices. You will be shocked. I promise you, you will be shocked at how inexpensive increasing your insurance will be. Again, I had a client, this was last week. This is not an old story. So this is happening right now at a time when insurance is going up, 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 up. They raised that personal injury protection coverage on their policy from the $2,500, like you see here, all the way up to $10,000. That is per person, per accident. So if you have a big car, like an SUV, and you've got 8 people and they get in an accident, they're potentially paying up to $80,000 in PIP. The cost increase for my client, $3 per month. Almost nothing compared to the benefit that you get. Increase that coverage by $7,500. So again, try to keep these things short. Those are the big hot button things that if you are looking at your own auto insurance policy here in Maryland, that I consider to be the hot button, the red flag issues. Again, even if you do the self-check and you want me to double check it for you, or if you don't want to do the double check, totally free. I will never, ever, 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 ever charge for this service. Shoot me an email right there, info@bowerslawmd.com. If you are a client or become a client of mine, I'm going to do this review for you automatically. It's part of me representing you. It's part of me doing the job right, in my opinion. So you're never going to have questions about your auto insurance policy if you are a client of mine. However, if there are deficiencies in your policy, it's too late to fix them if you're finding out about them as a client of mine. So give me a call, shoot me an email, send me that insurance policy. I would love to take a look at it, love to help you out. It's kind of like getting in that time machine. Instead of sitting in my office and be like, man, wouldn't it be great to go back to July 8th, 2024, before this accident happened and fix these things? Or do what I'm telling you to do right now. Email me, take a look at it, ask your agent about these policy changes if you're doing the self-check. If you don't have an agent and you bought your policy online, fix that. Get an agent. It won't cost you any more, but you're going to be able to have that conversation with somebody. So that's all I got for now. We've got some exciting topics that are brewing. I've got some exciting guests that I'm working on getting back in here. If you have questions that you'd like to see featured on this podcast, send me an email, info@bowerslawmd.com. If it is auto accident related or auto accident adjacent, you're going to get an episode like this. It's just me. If it has something to do with another topic, we're still going to end up doing that elder law scam thing. Once we get the scheduling right there, we're going to talk about that. I've got a colleague of mine who I've been referring business to for years. We're going to get him on here. We're going to talk about wage theft, things about minimum wage, overtime, things like that. All those topics are coming. Super looking forward to it. If there's something else, if I don't do it, which is anything that's not auto accidents, I'm going to find somebody that I trust. I'm going to bring them on here. We're going to interview them. We're going to talk about that topic for you. So till next time, like this, share this, subscribe so you get the alerts. Although, hey, spoiler alert, it's 10 a.m. every Monday. That's when we do it. Be well out there. Be safe. And again, send me your insurance policy. Let me give you that free review. Thank you.